I just know it's pretty sketchy. Don't know why America thinks they have to interfere. Doesn't make sense. What is going on? This is Burning Embers. Trump just announced live on TV here that we've entered the Syrian war, even after Putin said stay out of it. Trump, the arrogant individual that we all know. Trump, the one that's leading the free world, supposed the free world. It's making me quite nervous. Yeah, me living in Southern California, I'm within striking distance of Russian missiles. What the hell is wrong with this? Burn out my iPad. And on top of real world occurrences, somebody in the Alliance chat saying something. On top of real world occurrences. What is wrong with this? Sounds good. So outside of America's arrogance in this system, well, apparently my game is broke.
You must provide cover for a lone Tenno operative. Set off the alarms and keep the infested busy.
Ancients are the most powerful. Agent feeding has made them strong.
The infested are releasing toxic spores into the area. The emergency life support I am delivering is your only chance for survival.
Trump
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time. Fallen enemies will drop crucial life support. Be on the lookout. Get ready for a capsule. I've delivered another life support capsule.
President's decision to enter the war was brought on by none other by himself and his ego. Seems like every American president has to have a war, or else they can't justify their reasoning.
Prepare for life support. Another life support capsule is now available.
That was good timing.
We are forced to act.
Life support incoming.
Wonder if this is Trump's response to his porn star allegations. Like, shit. They figured out I slept with a porn star, so I'm gonna start a war.
Additional life support has arrived.
Oops, that just happened.
Extraction is available if you need it. The raid is off to a successful start. Life support on the way. I've delivered another life support capsule.
It's ridiculous. You send out 8 invitations to a chat party. Nobody joins.
Life support incoming.
To think that America is going to enter a war that has nothing to do with America, all on rumors, reminds me just the same as Saddam Hussein and the weapons of mass destruction bullshit. Nothing was ever proven from that. But yep, tens of thousands of people went there and died. Let alone the ones that lived there and died. There's been no actual proof that chemical weapons were used in Syria. It's just one big hearsay. They used chemical weapons and there's no proof. And we go to war. What? It's like being tricked into a bad joke. Being baited. Just don't understand how Trump, a real estate investor, ends up leading
life support on the way.
The free nation into a war that has nothing to do with America. Putin initially said, "This is not anything to do with you, America. Don't even think about coming into this. You better stay out." Trump's reply was, "You better get ready."
Additional life support has arrived.
Still got Trump on the news talking down about Assad. You have the Syrian government allowing their people to starve. That's one thing. That's a humanitarian crisis. But if you have a Syrian government dropping chemical weapons on its own people, that's a Geneva crisis. Why is the Geneva Convention intercepting this? Why is America being forced into this? That's what I want to know. Even after Putin directly said, don't even think about it.
Get ready for a capsule.
That was a close one.
Trump, real estate investor, U.S. president, saying what?
I've delivered another
Not to mention,
life support capsule.
Donald Trump's first real estate venture was a failure. Cost him $14 million. His first time that real estate attempt was a failure. $14 million. Oops. Now it's the president. Trump openly tweets bashing people on his Twitter page. Flexing his muscle against Russia.
Strike. We have to win this.
The YouTube shooter. What is going on? Marcus Zuckerberg freely and openly sells people's information on Facebook. From Facebook. All he says is, I'm sorry. But thank you for the $30 million. It's a family-friendly social site. We're going to sell your children's identities. That's irrelevant. Actually, no, it's not. Considering Russia supposedly tainted the American election system and made Trump the president, but yet Trump is going to war with Russia. Doesn't make sense.
They could not do this without
Whole
you.
bunch of doesn't make sense. That range. Killing the maggots. Boy, that guy's went down 3 times already. I just can't even figure out what Trump's reasoning is. Is he frost? That's his problem. Bring that squishy frame in here. There we go. Level 24. Level 26. royally dislike people that camp. So pathetic to wait on the game to feed you instead of actually trying to get it. Hey, possibly. Look up Russian Invincible program. It's a multi-nuclear warhead that's capable of striking multiple locations at the exact same time. Think about that concept. Push one button, wipe out 12 cities. That's crazy. If you wouldn't, I mean, you'd pretty much wipe them out. Because 1,000,000 degrees, close to 1,000,000 degrees. From what I understand, that's about how hot a nuclear weapon is.
My warframe is strong.
I just don't understand how world governments are even allowed by their own people to continue research into these weapons of mass genocide. Any one missile that can kill over 30 people should not exist. Like 30 people, that should decide a war. You know, and one country's holding a stockpile of thousands of these missiles. That's okay. But oh no. You have modern nuclear weapons that are capable, of course, if struck into the right cities. They're capable of killing, just wiping out, burning, turning people to ashes. Hundreds of thousands of people. Just one bomb. That's what Russia's, it's called the Invincible program. There's a crazy fucking video online. I'm trying not to curse in this stream. There's a crazy video online demonstrating what the Invincible program, created by Russian military and nuclear weapons, I don't know, scientists have been working on for the past 30 years. It's one giant bomb. It gets launched into the outer stratosphere, which is like space. They launch a giant nuclear weapon into outer space, and then once it reaches halfway to its point, it breaks open, which exposes multiple nuclear weapons. And those individually target different locations. So it'd be like a simultaneous nuclear attack. And Russia had the balls to actually call that program invincible. Now, if you're going to call a nuclear weapons program invincible, it's clear your intentions are domination. And if your intentions are domination, you're going to call on World War III, the one that'll end all humanity. Putin's been flexing his dick since probably the 90s, I'd say. Why? Why? That's a hell of a question. How did he die already? Oh, it's the same guy. This guy keeps dying. Oop. Why? The UK will be involved. UK, you're the closest ally right now, as far as the US goes. So yeah, man. I mean, you just had that poisoning right there in one of your major cities. You had an old retired Russian spy that moved to the UK and was publicly poisoned. In public, like, that's crazy. If your government has enough balls to say, fuck it, just poison this guy broad daylight, why would they only stop there? I don't even think it comes down to having balls. I think it's a certain level of psychoticism. You gotta be kind of crazy, man, to even think about wiping out 100,000 people with one bomb. Putin has put billions into his, what's that called? Surface-to-air missile program, his air defense, his land defense mission, or programs. Lots of money. the water in this world is fucked up right now. If you remember Fukushima, it's still leaking. Like, Fukushima is still leaking radiation directly into the ocean. The worst part about that, as soon as radiation gets into the ocean, there's something called the ocean currents, which drags that radiation all around the world. And if you look at Australia, the Great Coral Reef, how it's had massive die-off. Altoona, you got mass, what do you call that? Mass die-offs. Huge schools of fish, like millions of fish. They get washed up on shores. They don't just die. It's fish, you know what I mean? All they have to do is just eat stuff, and they just keep living. But for 1 million of them to just die at once, that water's polluted. Fukushima's still leaking. Say what? Altoona? Fukushima's still leaking though. They have over, I think it was last year, I looked up this project that they've been working on for quite a while. They have over 300 million gallon, huge, massive, rapidly built tanks to hold all the water that they're sucking out of the ground, which is radiation contaminated. They're running out of space to hold ocean water. And in the meantime, they can't suck all of it out. So it's literally still leaking. Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania. Whoops, which one did I equip?
Order seems to have misplaced those memories.
Yeah, it's terrifying. You guys, there's only 3 of you watching, because I'm watching also on my iPad, 4 of you. Don't eat ocean food. Do not eat fish from the ocean. And you really have to be really paranoid about farm-raised fish, because most third world countries, because they know that overpopulation, or what's it called, overfishing by the fishing industry, and what's it called, these steroids and antibiotics are making fish weak. So they have these huge lakes, like they dig out these massive lakes, right? And they've been working on moving fish that are normally only found in the ocean into these fish farms. Yeah, fish farms. Like, you have multiple lakes, right? They're in big squares, and then you got like this crosswalk set up, where people drive through with ATVs and they sling their I don't even know if you're joking, but if you're not, yeah, there's a reason why that shit's on discount, because that's tainted food. I believe, like, on a crazy conspiracy level, that some amount of radiation is being allowed into the food. People. And overpopulation is getting expensive for world governments. You still have starving, right? Starving's been going on since like the 30s and 40s. Not just in third world countries, though. It's in developed countries. Countries with a fiber optic internet, high speed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got satellite dish deals. They got, like, it's a developed country. And there's still people that starve to death. They wake up hungry. They go to bed never eating. And you're smashing on that sushi. Ah, crap. You're smashing on that sushi. Let me tell you something. If that sushi was cheap, it might have been farm raised. The worst part is about farm raised food, which I somehow just avoided completely. They come by, right? The thing is, with flowing water that's really deep, aka the ocean, when fish shit, like, it settles to the bottom of the ocean. So the fish don't have to keep, breathing it in. So when you get a little pond when they have fish farming, that shit doesn't go anywhere. So these fish constantly like eat their own shit, and it makes them sick, which that would make anybody sick. Makes total sense to me. You keep eating shit, you get sick. But these fish farms, to combat the fish and their lack of actual water, they drive by with these huge tanks of antibiotics and vitamins and minerals to fake the healthy fish. Like, this is real shit going on. You better be paranoid about the I don't know why it just totally blocked your comment. That's weird.
Tenno, a new alert has begun. It will be marked on navigation.
It's not just America, though. There has to be a new wave. There has to be a revolution in the way that we grow our food, manufacture our food, and cleanse our water. Or else we are all doomed. Look at the drought in California. I live here in Southern California, right? The drought is real. You know what the worst part about that is? They just have sprinklers. Like, that's their answer. They have sprinklers. There's a drought. Let's put in irrigation. That doesn't make sense, man. But the thing is, when you use irrigation with treated water that's been treated with, like, calcium phosphate, I think is what it's called, is what they use when they treat water. The thing is, when you spray calcium phosphate, I don't think it's phosphate. I think that's actually a poisonous combination. So that's probably not. There's some kind of a calcium deposit that's left over when you spray. You know, when you turn on the sprinklers and you use city-treated water that's been chemically treated to be cleansed, and the sprinklers shut off. You know, they've done their watering cycle, like they're done. You end up, after that water does evaporate, you end up with a layer of calcium. And the thing is, the plants can't absorb nutrients through that. So you're eventually going to turn this fake oasis into a desert, which is really what it is. If California were to shut off its sprinklers, it would all be a desert. Within just a few years, everything would die. Because if you look at the city borders, some of these, like if you tune into some of these news stations and watch the news choppers, if they're covering something, take a peek on the corners, the borders. You know, the border of the what do you call that? You know, the broadcast, the news feed. Look in the corners. If they're covering like a high-speed, chase or something, take a look at the corners, especially if they're in a city and it's right on the outskirts of that city. Because in Southern California, right outside the city, it'll all be desert. It's just desert. Eight minutes ago, we started bombing. Yeah, no. You know he did. You know we actually instigated and started the bombings before Trump even came onto TV. You know that's how it went down. That's the exact same way that Bush did it. Yeah, you know he did. America, we're about to go to war. No, you already launched. You've already launched missiles, and they were talking about it, like strategic locations that America can launch from. The thing that I don't get, who are we launching against? That's the part that I don't understand. That's the part that Trump never said anything about. They say it's the Syrian government that initiated this chemical warfare. But that's true. What are we shooting for? The, like, government buildings? Is that how we do it? Because if we do that, then we could do like we... I say we as in America, like I'm speaking on behalf of all Americans. If we do launch against the Syrian government buildings... Well, it's... Yeah, true. We should target the chemical facilities. But it's Assad that is calling the shots and allowing chemical weapons to be used. Yeah, I know. There's too many of us. And we are screwed. I'm pretty sure we're screwed. Can't believe I got this huge rush of adrenaline and every single one of my hairs on my legs and arms stood up. I'm in Southern California. If you've ever seen that globe that you can spin, you know, in history class or social studies, we can almost see Russia. They can hit us. Yeah, I'm kind of scared. And Trump's like, yeah, we're going to war. I just don't understand. Who are we going to war against? There's 3 different factions in Syria right now, right? You have the Syrian government. Assad, yeah. If we hit the government buildings, we can't do what the fact that Russian troops work for. Yeah, that's true! And that's going to start World War III. The thing is, if we pull and start launching these missiles at the Syrian government's buildings, which the Russian military is there to protect and uphold Syrian rule over this area, we're going to inevitably kill some Russians. And Putin will respond to this. He openly declared it multiple times. Trump, you better stay out of this. This is not something you want. And then Trump, like a pompous asshole he is, tweeted. He's using Twitter. Tweeted, you better get ready, Putin, because we're coming for you. What? I hate the fact that my president is such a cocky, arrogant, pompous asshole. I'm not like that. I hope the rest of the world realizes that not all Americans are like our shitty president, because that's not how it is. I actually got to quit this mission. Forgot to change. I hate putting losses on my profile. Yeah, Assad. I'm terrified. I'm terrified for this. For these actions that I have nothing to do with. Kills from melee attacks grant plus 45% more affinity. And I have an affinity booster. So 5 minutes I should be finished. Put this to solo. Go to navigation. I've never understood the fact that wow, somebody must be recruiting for those other clans. Never understood the fact that one small table of government employees can make decisions for millions. We don't all stand for Mr. Government Official Guy. So for you to make our decisions for us, which I'm against. Our governments, not currently, but throughout all of history, have been deciding inequality since before recorded time. That's a matter of fact type of thing. I myself, I don't understand the inequality.
The emergency life support I am delivering is your only chance for survival. The first life support capsule has arrived. Activate it when your supply is low. Look for personal life support modules dropped by fallen enemies.
Man, I hope I can respond while doing this. Not fail this game. There'll never be equality. That's a homemade word. I think it was made for people that are sensitive to their differences. Minorities that are sensitive to the fact of majorities. The majorities pretty much run everything. You're in France? Yeah, France has a bad history. Look back at Germany. Did you know it was the 10th Mountain U.S. Army? France was like 20 minutes away from being completely destroyed in World War II times. Nazi Germany came out of nowhere. They were like 20 minutes away from wiping France out. Eiffel Tower, the City of Love, the City of Food, Fashion, none of that would exist. French nationals, like the French Revolution, it would have never existed. Barely in the nick of time. Could you just, I mean, who knows what the world would be, because that was actually a turning point. There was multiple ships right outside of France, sitting in the ocean, with tens of thousands of people, regularly unloading to stop this war. That was a different age, that was a different time. People, if you ask me, people were absolutely insane. Could you just picture what they went through? War back then was so barbaric. You had to run at each other, face to face, and try and see who can stab the other person the fastest. And there's really no victor. There's no winner. It's war. There's going to be massive losses, even if you're on the victor side. Whoever deems victor. How they used to decide war back then, the most amount of people still standing, still alive, that's the winner. That's insane. That's insane. Now, coupled with technology, some of these missiles can be, shot from across the world. Like I mentioned before, one bomb has the potential to wipe out millions. Millions. I think in New York City there's 3 million people. One bomb, if you do it right, right as far as the circumstances for discussion. I sure as hell don't support that's genocide. If you one button wipe out 3 million people, that's insane. If it does go down, it does go down. I get to find out if God. I was so nervous to actually say that sentence. Still, I don't know. This planet is definitely better without humans. Since the beginning of mankind. Since the beginning of mankind scribbling on cave walls and chiseling on stone for recording history. Since the beginning, man has done nothing but strip this planet of its abundant resources and dwindled them down to rare resources. Just keep taking and taking and taking. And we can never put it back. It's impossible. It's not how it works. So yeah, I fully support it. Either way it goes. I don't think people deserve this planet. None of us deserve this life. Why? Because of our governments. Forcing us against our free will, and to think we voted for this guy. No, there wasn't nobody to vote for. Hillary Trump, a known liar and a cover-up. She like blatantly covered up the fact that she knew about the Benghazi attacks. What's up, Kanali? I appreciate the sub. I gotta tell you right now, this is not a typical stream. I normally don't stream. It's been quite a while since I streamed. But I would love to keep this going. Like, I love talking about world topics. If there was some way that I actually make a difference in the world, that would be awesome. There's a lot of wrong in the world. I got 2 kids myself. I don't understand the world that they're growing up in. That's scary. I don't know how to teach them. Because I don't understand this world. You know what I mean?
The raid
I
is
just don't
off
get
to a
this world
successful
anymore.
start.
It's not the world I grew up in. People used to talk to each other. I used to go outside and ride my bike and shit. Like, I used to go to my friend's house, and we used to, like, do stuff. But now, kids now, they have electronic friends. They pull out their phone, and they text each other. And that's good enough for them. They call them friends. They call people on their Twitter friends. Complete, total, absolute random strangers that only subscribe. I'm not going to put this in relation to your subscription. I'm just going to say, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get this world. So if my kids were to ever come to me for advice on the world that's going on right now, more than likely, I wouldn't know how to answer them. Because this isn't my world. I just don't get it.
Additional life support has arrived.
I guarantee you, I skipped some questions. Or some comments. I just keep thinking, do you realize, I mean, ever seen some of the World War II Hiroshima pictures? And the everlasting permanent disfigurement and genetic mutilation that happened because of one nuclear bomb has affected Japan for over 100 years. That is fucking insane. And countries still try to develop stronger, more strategic atomic weapons, even after there's entire catalogs. There's like libraries filled with these nuclear wartime atrocities, where it's like mutated newborn children on a genetic level. Like, it changes their genes. That's crazy. Just being born in a certain area makes you have an extra leg. That's insane. That means the ones in the past have failed you. And that's horrible to think that I'm part of that current generation. This could potentially turn into something absolutely horrible. The potential's definitely there. Oh, I hit level 30. 28. Come on. 29. Max rank. Awesome. I'm out of here. I'm running at, this is 1080. There is no 4K potential internet speed in my area. AT&T is who my internet provider is. They said there's no way that you will ever be able to run 4K streaming. I have a PS4 Pro, which is why you can watch this right now in 1080. Unfortunately, there's no way that I can ever reach 4K resolution because of my provider and their lockout. Oh, I got a new gun. Gotta level that.
If I may say, operator, your chosen warframe suits you. Ha ha.
That's an absolute tragedy. I mean, who really knows how, you know? Yeah, this is PS4. I'm not on PC. Who honestly really knows how people, you know, for the most part, it's usually families that turn people into these mental institutions, and then they just give up on them. Like, if you give up on a family member, you never cared in the beginning, which is disgusting. It's horrible. It really is truly horrible. But if you have families that are doing this on a regular, like there's some kind of a bad trend with it, then there's something wrong with the morality of those peoples, you know? 3 points. Yeah, times change. That's true. That's too true. Time does change. And let alone the fact that we can't do anything about that. I don't know if that's good or bad. I need this mod. I don't have enough space. Yeah, I probably won't use this weapon anyways. Black it out, because it's trash.
A fearsome appearance, operator. You will strike terror in your enemies.
I don't know why you keep getting censored. Oh, that's why it censored that. You know, speaking of, I know I'm about to take this off the deep end. You say history does repeat itself. You ever realize, I don't know if I should say that. See, the Bible, it can be taken in context. Every single generation has said, oh, the time is near, the time is now. And turns out everybody was wrong, which, thank God. Mesa Neuroptics. Alright, let's see. I don't remember how to get those. Mutilist. One hour? Oh my gosh, it takes 1 hour to craft. Time does change. History is very much repeating itself all the time. Let's see. Aclex. I can go public now. Yeah, it's happened before. This is, you know, I never understood why Hitler was always looked at as the worst one in history for like war crimes, because statistically speaking, Stalin and Leningrad, I think it was actually Leningrad, but the Russian dictator, he killed so many more than Hitler even came close to. And he, like, that Russian dictator was put back in the shadows. Almost like it never really happened. Yeah, like, Wolfie. So what you're saying is it's interpretation. It's kind of like what I was hinting at with, I don't know. I don't like mentioning the Bible because it's kind of sketchy. From what I understand, if you talk any smack about the Bible, you instantly go to hell. But it's interpretation. It comes down to interpretation. If you look at history repeating itself, okay, I can run this 20 times. I have 20 keys. Synoid Simulator, Carrier Prime. I should be fine. History repeating itself. You've got an open mind. I can only guess you're not American. You know, it's really strange living in America and just seeing these teenagers right now growing up. They're very ignorant to the rest of the world. It's not the fact that, you know, they're not graduating history class or whatever. It's the fact that they're choosing to ignore all the facts around them. They won't accept that bad things have happened. And if bad things have happened once, what's to stop it? For real, in reality, you know, what's to stop it from happening again? Them. They're the change. But if they refuse to accept the past, how can they move forward in the future? How can they keep going progressively in a positive direction? I don't think it's possible. These same ones that are, they're more, you know, in tune with buying a brand new phone and having a pair of Jordans than the fact that there are kids their age in their neighborhood that haven't ate a balanced meal in a few months. Like the priorities of what's good versus what's bad nowadays, it's to the point where I just don't understand the world anymore. I just don't get it. How do you teach someone that refuses to accept facts? Is there hope for them? Can they change it before they bury themselves? Just the same as other generations before them, which has led us to this point right here, right now. There was nothing instantaneous about Putin being a leader for so many decades in a row. There was nothing instantaneous about Donald Trump becoming the U.S. president. It didn't instantaneously all of a sudden happen. It's taken decades. Decades of people allowing these things to happen. For example, governments researching more and more powerful, you know, nuclear weapons or whatnot. More powerful and more sophisticated, for the most part, weaponry and defensive capabilities of all nations around the world at the same time. I don't understand. Like, okay, I do kind of understand that if one guy brings a big stick to a fight, if you don't have a big stick, he's going to beat your ass. I understand that. You will lose that fight. But when you have so much on the line, can you really compare things by big sticks? When you have millions, tens of millions of people that have absolutely nothing to do with it, where do you draw the line? Where do you say, this is enough? You are no longer our leaders. Where do you stand up and pull the rug out from these aristocrats with all their billions of dollars that they have at their instantaneous disposal, where they could flick a switch and change the entire world for the worse? As we're seeing right now, America is going into the Syrian war. Oh. Come on. Where'd he go?
Additional life support has arrived.
No. Where is it? I just screwed up. I can't do survival and trying to read at the same time. I might be able to do that here. Unless I find a dead end. I think I have 283% range on this Necros, which means I can spawn a whole ton of health orbs. Alright, I'm going to read your comment.
Life support on the way.
See what I mean? Yeah, the Bible. There's been so much talk about that, and it's like every single generation, they're like, oh, the time is now, it's here, all the signs are here. And the ones that predicted, what's his name, Nostradamus, he's the most infamous one. He's the one that's most infamous with the most accurate predictions, which doesn't even make sense considering every generation. It's just an interpretation of what's going on around you at the time. My parents told me time and time again, you know, just relax. Even when we were your age, we seen all the signs coming together. Everything in the Bible was showing itself, and you're here, so we must have lived through it. I was like, yeah, true. So it's definitely interpretation. But when mankind can intervene into that, that's when it becomes more than just a coincidence. That's when it truly gets sketchy. That's when people really have to do something against their own governments. Which I don't even know if that's legal for me to say. Totally agree with you. Yeah, you're right. They were never dealt with. They were just pushed aside. They were forced upon the next people to come down the line. That's certainly not how you deal with something. Like the Fukushima leak. If that does not get immediately resolved in a permanent manner, when's it going to get dealt with? In the year 2152? Like, that's crazy that I could even mention a number like that, and that's a year that I'm putting in to a rather hypothetical situation, but unfortunately turns out to be really real. Very, 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 very real. Constantly leaking radiation into the Earth's oceans? That's crazy. But it's happening, and it's never fully been stopped. Are they just going to walk away from Fukushima? I mean, current leaders die every day. You know, everybody. For every, did you know this? Every 1 second, 3 people die around the world. This is 2016 census from around the different, developed countries that are able to do census. 3 people die every second. But guess what? 5 people are born every second. So, if you find it getting a job hard now, there's going to be 2 of you looking for the exact same job. And this is, of course, generational. Families overproducing, it's been going on, since like king and queen days. Royal families would have many, many kids. Somehow it represented showing off your wealth and your power. Nowadays, in America at least, it shows how much food stamps you can acquire from the government. I'm not talking shit. This is like inner city thinking. I was born with a picket fence, but I chose to walk away from that picket fence. And that's me being totally honest with you right now. My parents are extremely wealthy. I decided I didn't like it because it was really weird, how the neighbors they'd wave and, yell across the yard, "Oh, I got me a new Corvette. You want to come over and look at it?" Like, wow, how arrogant is that? But then it became normal. All the neighbors were, "Hey, I just bought stuff for way too much money. You want to come over here and make me feel good about myself?" Like, I seen it on a regular, and I was like, this isn't me. And I decided to just literally just straight up pack my bags and walk away. 15 years old. I left. I decided that's not the kind of life I'm about. That's not what I'm about. It's time for me to go. And I left. So I seen some weird scenarios. So when I left that picket fence, that white picket fence with the, nice, white, clean, brand new house, 2-year-old, maybe 2-year-old vehicles in the driveway. When I left that to go live in a house that had toilet flushing problems, I can speak from personal experience that there are people in America that literally have sex just to produce children, just to collect more money from the government. It really does exist. And it's becoming a major problem. It's the strangest thing. They're not doing it for love. Like, they produce children for financial benefit. Which, if you think about it, isn't that the same as human trafficking? Except for the kidnapping part. That's crazy that some people call those people their parents. And those parents had those kids to collect money. I'm speaking on personal experience. Like, this really happened.
Hold out as long as you can.
So for 3 people born every second and 5 people, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. for every second, for every hour, for every day since 2016's national or global census project. 3 people have died and 5 people were born every second. And there's actually people out there that give birth to children just to make money off of them. Not illegally. Legally. It's a legal thing to make money off of your kids. That's crazy. What kind of human morale and values are these governments teaching us? They're supposed to be our leaders and protect us, you know? To offer us a better way of life. Education above all. That's the way it should be. Everybody should have free access to every level of education that they so desire. For one thing, that would be awesome if doctors didn't get paid $500,000 a year or whatever it is. So I can actually go to the hospital and have surgery on my knee and not have to get a bank loan. I don't understand that. I have to go to the bank to fix my knee? That doesn't make sense to me. And it sure as hell shouldn't make sense to anybody. There's no care in the healthcare system like that. There's no caring at all whatsoever. It doesn't make sense. When you have to just think about that. Hey honey, I don't feel good. Alright, let's go to the bank and get a loan so we can go see the doctor. That's a broken concept. That's a flawed, fractured, broken concept. And that's really what's going on in America. Like I said before, I don't know how it is in different countries. There's a lot of countries that have open medical treatment. Like it's 100% wide open. No questions asked. You get your health care taken care of. That is care. You can't call someone that makes $250,000 plus a year and only sees 60 patients a year. You can't call that individual a healthcare professional. Nope. They're a hustler. They're lying to people. They're conniving them. They're breaking them financially for something that's called health care. There's no care in that system. Whoa! Ridiculous lag. What was that? Alright, let's see. 15 minutes is coming up quick. Yeah, Canada. That's one of... See, America tried to use that as a benchmark. Obamacare before it was shut down by Congress. Congress is like, hey, we're going to lose a lot of money on this. Like, you don't care about your people? No, not America. See, in America, when you're born, you get something called a Social Security card. There's been a lot of research done into this. Basically, that Social Security card summarizes the fact that you owe your government, through your average life expectancy, around $10 million. Whether it be through paying taxes, whether it be through buying products, but you must put $10 million into your government from birth. That Social Security card in America, it means you owe me. And it's federally issued by the U.S. government. Which, that's crazy. Sorry, I didn't address what you said. Yeah, Canada's healthcare system, it's phenomenal. That's a benchmark for all countries. Free and open public healthcare. It shouldn't cost money. If a country cared about its people, why would you have to pay for it? There's no care in that. That's a hypocritical, bigot statement. It doesn't make sense. Because it's a flawed, broken system. You had to pay 75 grand?
Look what our Tenno operative just found. They
Oh my
cannot
gosh,
do this
all I got
without
was
you.
a Neo relic. Oh, that's not cool. What do you mean? You had to pay $75,000? to get treated. That's absolutely insane. That certainly shouldn't be like that. That's a lot of money. Wow. You're 75 grand in debt. That shouldn't even exist. Canada's healthcare is amazing to me. It's free and they literally give you money for a taxi to go to a safe place after you leave. To me, that seems like they care. Like they actually care about their people. That makes sense. But it seems like you're stuck in a position where it'd be similar as an American, where you'd have to take out a bank loan just to pay back your medical bills. That's insane. Why would these large corporate ran facilities ever need that much profit? It doesn't make sense. There's no care in that scenario. For America to enter the Syrian war. Syrian government said nothing. You know, United Nations and the U.S. government were like, hey, you should cut that out. Oh, crap.
We need to purge this place,
That's
as we did in the old
not
days.
Getting any experience.
A steady stream of toxic spores is being released into the area. Hold on. Emergency life support is
What
inbound.
the world is this?
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
$10,000. 10,000. That's crazy. Get 3 kills within 10 seconds. Yeah, nobody should have a debt for healthcare. Alright, it needs to be renamed to something else. None of that makes sense to me. And if you ask me, my opinion on things not making sense, if your government doesn't make sense to you, they're trying to hide something. They're trying to cover up their true nature. And if your government is trying to cover up its true objective, not good stuff. Can't be good. All governments have secrets. Worst part is when they say that it's for the protection of everyone involved. If you're confusing the masses, and they're the ones that's confused, that doesn't make sense. You're confusing the masses on purpose. You're hiding something. Let alone the fact that stress is horrible. Stress is highly detrimental to your health. Stress is very, very bad for your health. Anybody's health. Mostly financial stresses. To think that's crazy, actually, that you put it like that. Yeah. You go in for like, I don't know, a splinter. Probably not. A splinter wouldn't cost me $75,000. You go in for like some slightly common sickness. I jumped over that shockwave. You go in for some common sickness. You end up so far in debt that you have a heart attack. So you have to go in for a heart attack. Like, what? Well, it's just cheaper to shoot yourself. I keep screwing up the box. I need the scan those things. I need a Helios. I wonder if they automatically scan them.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Alright. Alexa's always ready to comply. Alexa. Oh, I better shut up, huh? She's gonna accidentally hear me and like disconnect the internet or something. The internet. Did he seem really proud? Trump? What, did he act like he was concerned? So yeah, he's acting like he's doing it for the Syrian people. That's weird. In other words, they already launched. So that wasn't a preemptive warning message. With who? Assad or Russia? I just don't understand how they're allies. Okay, if we're launching missiles in Syria, we must be targeting the chemical manufacturing facilities. Iran? Are they involved? Oh no. What is I? Oh no, I did it again.
When you need it, extraction is ready. The raid is off to a successful start.
Ah! Shit! I'm trying to scan these cats. Get away. No! Oh my god, they move so ridiculously fast. This is stupid. There's nothing I can do here.
Life support incoming.
Where's the cat? There's a cat somewhere in there. I need his genetic codes. There it is. Where'd he go? Oh my god, it moves so fast. Now I can't see anything. Where'd it go? Oh, I missed it.
I've delivered another
Yeah,
life
you took your
support
time.
capsule.
Oh no, there it was. Oh, I'm failing this Kavat. If Iran has any involvement with Syria and they decide to step in with Russia, on whose behalf is this? Why are we doing this anyways? That's what I don't get. Yeah, it's to make money. Killing people makes money. What a concept. He wants a disgusting legacy. I started a war. My name's Donald Trump. I failed real estate, so I became a president and failed the country.
We fought with honor.
Life support incoming.
Oh, I hope the hell Iran doesn't become involved. You know Russian missiles can potentially touch us here.
Another life support capsule is now available.
What, like Trump is actually working for Putin, or the other way around? Let's make the world think we're mad at each other, start a huge war. Oh, so you think Trump's desperate to get into a quarrel with him? Just to try and do everything he can to make him shut up in one way or the other. Which will cost thousands of lives. What, the FBI guy? If Iran has any involvement, Iran's involvement in Syria, this is bad news for everybody else. It's not that they have a very well trained military. They have the finances, that's for damn sure. Iran can become a major player in the Middle East. Wouldn't take any time. They got that old world money. Trillions and trillions just sitting around waiting to be spent to buy 400,000 tanks or whatever it might be. Probably won't be a ground war. More than likely, it will not be a ground war. It's archaic. It's almost obsolete. Missiles can reach so freaking far now.
We will all share in this bounty.
All right, 15-minute
as
relic.
long as you can.
I need the Mutalist a lot 5. So I can get Mesa instead of buying Mesa. I just bought Atlas. I've never had Atlas before. I'm gonna do some research on Atlas. Strikes are now reported. Wow. I got such a nervous lump in my throat. My hair started sticking up on my legs. I highly suggest you Google. It's a really heart-wrenching video. Google the video. Oh, what's it called? It's the name of a White Lion song. When the Children Cry. Google When the Children Cry. Iraq. Google that all together. When the Children Cry, Iraq. Because it's so relevant to right now. It really is. Watch that video. Don't shed a tear. Be bigger than me. And seeing all those children with their parents splattered on the ground for the government that they have no love for. It doesn't make sense to me. We have begun bombing. I'm going to read that comment again. Oh no, I'm being attacked. Alright, let me just find a place to camp. There we go. Airstrikes have reported on Assad's strategic Meza airbase, a major facility in the regime's nationwide military operations, sitting in the southwest.
The spores have almost completely saturated the atmosphere. You need
So it has begun.
Spore saturation is nearing critical mass. After that point, no amount of life support will save you.
It was bad. I went from 18 to 33. there's some strategic involvement with Iran in this entire scenario right now. And I'm telling you, if Iran decides to step into this picture, it's going to be a major issue across the world. "105th Brigade Base Air Base, Demar Air Base." So it is confirmed it has begun. Americans' involvement with the Syrian war, amongst other atrocities of war. More specifically, the chemical warfare that's being used by their government. I believe that was Trump's ploy, was to go after the pathetic, I don't even know what you call it. It's chemical warfare. That's against the Geneva Convention. There's got to be some kind of a backlash. I must be in a different time zone than you. What do we have to gain from this? That's all I want to know. I don't understand this. On the other side of the world, it's not like we regularly. That's what I've been saying the whole time. This is not an American's decision. Everybody over there and any other country involved should know that this isn't Americans' choices. This is our government's choice. I got another relic. Well, apparently you can only have so many Alad V navigation deals at once. Makes no sense. Oh, I'm in California. That was 9:30, you said? 9:30, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that was like 10 minutes ago? That's weird. One more state over, and that's a whole nother hour difference. Daylight savings time is such a farce. Daylight savings time is to keep the doors open on businesses even longer. Oh, so this was a whole hour ago. Isn't that about when, that's about when Trump, so right when Trump said that missiles are going off.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, wait a minute, no, because they had it all on Facebook, so no.
They had it before Trump went live?
No,
Oh.
they didn't.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what that means, right? So the U.S. military had drones already stationed. That's insane. The massive amount of coordination around the world that happened within just a few minutes. They got all their drones with their laser sighting all put in place, and they had all their laser, geotagging going on. Exact specific, one drone for one missile. Each one of those drones lined up with its missile pointed at its target. And then on the other side of the world, in the comfort of Washington, D.C., in the Oval Office, President Trump was giving his speech about our immediate and required involvement in the Syrian war. And then as soon as his address ended, the Department of Defense, Secretary of State, yelled over there, all right, go ahead and light them up. And then all the way on the other side of the world, shoo, 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 shoo. We're about to become involved in Syrian war. And then we were. So here we are. I'm curious. It's going to be over the next 24 hours. There's some kind of a repercussion of some sort will happen. Whether it be the Syrian government, whether it be Russian government, or whether Iran will step up and become allies publicly. And honestly, to me, you better watch Iran. They've been developing nuclear, what do you call it? Nuclear refinement since the 80s. So they've been stationed for a few days, just sitting there waiting on a chance to pull the trigger. So sketchy. They've been plotting this whole time. Whoa, you get free camera in the orbiter too now? That's wild. Whoops. Oh, no, no, no. Did that just move? No. Okay. Edit. There we go. Edit. There's a good picture. I think that's Trinity praying for us all. I don't know. I don't understand how Trump can be so pompous. It's 100% obvious he's a pompous asshole. It's not even my opinion. What? I thought I had Helios. It's not even my opinion. I'm just presenting facts. Don't get mad at me. Oh gosh, 250 health, 350 shield. This is not good. The Syrian government has been crafting weapons for terrorists. Well, I think that's the original intention of why we're there. The rebels are terrorists.
But they're getting their weapons from somebody.
Usually you can look at the weapons after you kill the enemy and be like, oh yeah, this is an AK-47. It came from Russia.
They're thinking it's coming from either Russia or Iran. And I don't think it's Russia.
You think Iran is funding the rebels?
I think so.
To overthrow its government, to make the economy and the, what's it called?
They're fucking sneaky people.
That was racist.
I don't care.
I do.
They're dirty.
If Iran is funding... That is so sketchy to think about that. Then they're directly feeding into this. And if Iran is directly feeding into this, you know, I thought Iran dropped their allied ties from Russia back in the 70s. I thought Russia like did something. They screwed them over out of like a few 100 billion gallons of oil, and like they wouldn't pay or something like that. Even though Russia has an abundant supply of its own oil, which I don't get that either. Ooh, I do have air support charges. Didn't realize that. But if that's true, then Russia's or Iran's involvement in this current situation would be justified. It would be justified by underfeeding or by feeding these by feeding the rebel group. Can't believe I threw away all my polymer bundles. If Iranian has why do I keep saying that? If Iran has a direct involvement with feeding and funding, you might as well call them part of the war too. Yeah, we did. No, we did. There was a lot of. And remember the rebel leader, like he cut. Yeah, right. Isn't that sketchy? Even though we can send in a team of 3 guys, you know, Navy SEALs, and those Navy SEALs can assassinate Assad, we instead train the rebels. Which that to me, that's good. Hey, you guys got problems, so why don't this group of you come over here? Hey, you guys, psst, hey, come over here. Now we're gonna show you how to take care of your problems. What happens?
Distract the infested while a lone Tenno operative hunts for supplies. Set off the alarms.
If we were training the rebel groups,
We need to purge this place, as we did in the old days.
so what are they saying? Iran is the ones that are feeding Assad the chemical weapons?
The emergency life support I am delivering is your only chance for survival. The first life support capsule has arrived. Activate it when your supply is low.
I don't even need to use that girl's here, but I think that's the way it's going then. Iran is actually feeding chemical weapons to Syria's government, not the rebels. So I'm looking at this backwards. Which makes Iran that much more guilty. They contributed to the death of infants. That's the part that I just can't grasp. I can't wrap my head around that. Your government's bad, so we're gonna kill the children. Like, what in the hell is wrong with these people? Let's kill some kids. Whack ass backwards thinking. Yeah, I know the Synoid Simulator is a really annoying, derpy gun. All I do is effortlessly walk around and just throw little gravity balls in the ground, and I win.
Life support has arrived.
I think that's awesome. You know, not too many people know about, what's the word, world happenings? Geographical politics? Not too many people understand what's going on in the world. So kudos to you, Wolfie, for keeping up on the truth. I have incredible range on my Desecrate. That actually hurt too. But I manufacture health orbs so quick it doesn't even matter.
Get ready for a capsule.
This is why I choose the Synoid Simulator. Makes them drop health. there was some way I could, any way at all, become directly involved with the current situation Donald Trump is forcing on Americans. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that live. All I say is, Trump needs impeached. He's gotta go. He's got all kinds of corruption, and it just keeps coming up. There's no way that that's some kind of a coincidence. Ah! Stop! Yeah. Chat. Get out of my way! Oh my god, there's a cat right there. How do you scan these cats? I got it. No, I didn't. Oh. Oh, I killed it. Oh, there it is. Where'd he go? What the hell? He jumped on the ceiling and shit? Holy crap, where is he? I don't even see this. Oh my god.
Life support
This is crazy. How are you supposed to scan these things? And it's actually helping me fight. Whoa. Scared the hell out of me. I was like, am I hearing these voices in my head? I got a cavat running all over the place. You're live.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
This stupid cavat, man. You keep it running off the walls and stuff. Trying to get one scan, and I just can't do it. Oh my god, stop running. Okay, I give up. Yeah, I don't think so. RIP. Can't do it. No patience. Last year in 2017, some bombs we bombed. And the leader of the military enforced over double of that this time. So I'm thinking, I'm in ODS right now. Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back. Ah, got him. Finally. Yes. Oh my god, he moves so fast. This is retarded. Quit running from me, cat. Oh, I hit it as soon as... What a stupid cat, man. Ugh. Trying to scan it and it runs up to meet my Orthos Prime right in the face. Whack! Dead.
Additional life support has arrived.
Like, wow, really? I wanted your... I was so close to... Not really. I didn't even have the slightest beat on him. What in the world? Yeah, you're not an Air Force pilot. No. Is your Oh, your mic's not even public. So it sounds like I'm just talking to myself. That's awesome. That's ridiculous. Huh? You must have your settings to not public. Word. Oh, I just killed another cavat. Gee whiz. Okay, so earlier today, not too long ago, I believe it was like 2 hours ago, Donald Trump announced to the world that we were entering the Syrian war.
I've delivered another
Donald Trump.
capsule.
Donald Trump. Yeah, I don't hear you. Oh, I'm gonna die. You. I don't hear you. Remember when I said that your mic is not public? How it sounds like I'm talking to myself? I don't hear you. Oh, Jesus. I can hear you. The viewers can't hear you. It sounds to them like I'm talking to myself. That's your settings. It has nothing to do with me.
Life support on
Audio sharing.
Wow, dude, I don't really care. There, does that work? Does that work?
Yep, you're on YouTube. So your current generation, this is your generation, you're the one that's going to have to deal with whatever's about to happen within the next few hours. Within the next few days, whatever the repercussions are, you're going to have to deal with that. How do you feel about that? And why do you think Trump got involved with a Syrian war? And besides the fact that Trump, I think it was Obama. I think it was actually Obama that sent over people to train the rebellion group to go assassinate Assad.
Yeah. I honestly...
You honestly?
I don't know.
Well, you don't know?
Trump is fucking dumb, honestly. He's stupid enough to go into that war.
Which doesn't
after
even
knowing
directly involve
all of
us
that.
at all.
No, it doesn't.
And
It
after
doesn't
the
involve
fact,
us
Putin said,
in any way.
this doesn't involve you at all. Stay out.
The longer you fight, the
Yeah,
more successful
Putin literally directly told
Literally.
us to stay out.
It had nothing to do with you. Don't even think about it. So what's
Nope.
he say? What's Trump say? On his
He
Twitter?
says,
You better
I
get
don't
ready.
give a fuck.
Yeah, he started rapping. He started dabbing. Hit Trump.
So bad.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Trump will never dab. Trump can't dab. Oh, I forgot to put my final mod on. My macro's finally finished. Yay. I'm pressing the circle button so much.
Ooh. Trump is stupid. That's really all I have to say. He shouldn't have become president. But
No, man. Look at him as a business person. He failed his
Yeah.
very first real estate venture.
he lost
Very
billions
first-
of dollars.
The first loss was $14 million. His dad was like, here, son,
Yeah.
go buy some property and flip it, basically.
And he lost
Somehow,
that money.
you failed. Ah, there's a Kavat. Did I just kill it? Oh my god.
Wow, this kebab.
Immediately. Yeah, there's just no hope. There's just no hope. I don't even care. I don't like kebabs. Except for that one that I already have. It increases your crit chance. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like 50% or something like that. In
Yeah,
other words,
that's
you
pretty
always
cool.
crit. That's cool. I already got that one.
Of course,
so might as well just give it up. Still missing one of those. Two bros. Alright, 3 minutes. I'll get the 15-minute timer. And then I better get in the lot 5. I'm still working on Mason, man. One more part. I'm one part away from Mason. I'm excited for her new mod. Like, that totally changes Mesa. You can move while
Oh,
doing
it really
Peacemaker.
does, yeah.
Uh-oh. You got a guaranteed kill button, you know what I mean? You got a guaranteed easy button. And you can move with it now? It was already overpowered.
God, right?
Now you
make it
can
more
move with it?
overpowered.
Right.
It's like turning into Ember.
I hate Ember. Ember's so derpy. Look at me, I
Yeah,
just
it
pressed
really
one
is.
button and killed everything. Like, yeah, there's no skill involved. That's called a crutch, not a clutch. There's nothing clutch about Ember. You can world on fire. Alright, well I guess I'm gonna wrap this broadcast up. Then I'll start another one up. I will start another one up. In fact, I'm just gonna stream all day, every day. The next subject will definitely be Mesa's comeback.
Oh, hell yeah.
Probably not.
Most
Probably
likely not
what
yet.
I'm gonna call it. Be like, let's talk some shit about Warframe.
Oof. You get banned instantly.
I can't believe he's talking after he's put $400 in this game. I can't believe it.
Right?
This guy's a hypocrite. Pretty much. I can't stand Ember. Then, yeah, I straight up bought Ember, that Ember and Loki pack, you know, whatever that.
Yeah.
that
Ember Prime and Loki pack.
Yeah, it's like everything all at once. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Yeah. Had a PlayStation discount. Had you know, store code deal. Whoa.
Yeah.
Why'd my screen go black? That was weird. I was like, shit, that's a deal. And when in reality, it's the furthest thing from a deal. Because I could have bought all three of them for like the equivalency of $7. But instead, I spent 60.
Yeah. Kinda fucked yourself.
I got played. Yeah, no bueno.
I got Ember Prime less than you did. Because I think I got Ember Prime for like 110 plat, maybe 105. I think that's what it went down to.
We will all share in this bounty.
If I remember right, I sold that Ember Prime from that deal. I got another Neo. Ah, I'm getting shit on, man. This is ridiculous. That's like the 5th one in a row today.
Oh, here,
what? Single nap one cord.
Wait a full minute and I'll go with you. Because I need those things too.
Ouch.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, requires decaying dragon key. There's a sealed vault right here. A key vault.
Oh, bummer.
No, there's like guaranteed awesome loot in there. I can't access it.
I know there is.
I'm not sure.
Oh, we have to go build those keys. We should go to the dojo and finish those. Just so every time we can get those things. It sounds like a good idea.
Whoa! Wall of fire. I'm trying to leave. Get out of my way, man. That says GG, man. GG, man.
20 seconds.
I don't think we'll be able to realize what exactly happened and how far it's going to stretch around the world. Trump's decision against Assad and Putin's retaliation. But I'd say within the next 24 hours, probably when I wake up, I'll know more.
Yeah.
So, till then, stay safe, guys. See you next time.